Motorhead Garage, the program that each week introduces you to and shows you how to install the latest in exciting and innovative products for your vehicle. Now here's your host, Dave Dobson.
Hey there, Motorheads. Welcome to Motorhead Garage, presented by DragonfireTools.com. Now, I know you've seen Overland tents, but you haven't seen one like this. This is from Inspired Overland, and Ferdinand, you designed this thing. What makes this design special?
What makes this design special is the three things that we pay attention of is lightweight, durability, and affordability.
And let's talk about the weight of this thing compared to other tents that are out there.
Correct. So this tent is one of the lightest tents in the market currently at 87 pounds. Most tents are about 120, 150, up to 200. And by having that lightweight tent, you save on the miles per gallon, and it's also easy to set up. One of the most important things is people don't know is dynamic and static weight. The dynamic weight is when you're moving and driving. Most cars only are able to hold up to 150 pounds with the factory roof rack. That means that you have to change from a factory roof rack to a roof rack like this design, which costs you about $1,000 or more.
This tent only weighs 87 pounds.
Correct.
So then your static weight then when you're camping up is like...
It's 500 to 650, which is there's no issue. It's pretty much go to any car.
Very cool. And you touched on it, but putting it up on the roof for the first time is a whole lot easier when it's 87 pounds.
Correct.
Yeah, you can do it with a couple of people. How do I know this tent from Inspired Overland is going to fit my vehicle?
We provide two universal brackets that comes with the price and the tent all in one box. So we have the flat brackets and we have the curved brackets. And both can go to a factory roof rack and crossbar, or you can use aftermarket roof rack and crossbar. And they're both all included with the price of the tent.
Well, let's talk about the affordability then. How does this compare to other tents on the market?
What you're getting, it's about half the price of other tents out there.
That raises a red flag, I think, to a lot of people. Like, okay, if it's half the price, it must only be half as good. But durability is another one of your tenets now. What are the materials that go into this to make it durable?
One of the main materials that we use on this upgraded tent is the zipper. We use the YKK zipper, which is one of the top Japanese brands out there that you can buy in the market.
About the strongest zipper.
The strongest zipper you can buy is the YKK. And the next is we use the materials. This is a 2000 denier polyester, which is UV and waterproof protection. Most tents out there only use 600 to 800 denier materials. So that means the ripstop of this tent is 3 times the strength.
Incredible.
And also the next one would be the top cover. It's durable because it's, the way you look at it, it's a tonneau cover. Tonneau cover, as long as you use the basic maintenance as in 303 sprays, it's gonna last you for 10 or more years. It just right out the gate, you know, you're not only getting an affordable product, but you're also getting a good quality products.
Okay, now it's durable. There aren't gonna be a lot of features to it, but that's not the case here. This thing's loaded.
It comes standard with the condensation mat on the inside. It comes with 1-inch foam mattress, which you can upgrade to 3-inch mattress.
And 3 inches, that's still gonna shut.
It's just still gonna shut the tent, and the craziest thing is, if you shut this thing down, it's only up to 4-inch. That's when you can park this thing in the garage.
Big consideration for weekend warriors.
Correct.
Cool, and then I see the gear loft there, and you have a place to attach a flashlight as well. I know that the piston there holds the tent up by itself. Do we need these poles?
You don't necessarily need the poles. The whole string of the tent, it's come from the unique design. It's from the struts. So this is pretty much what makes it also unique, because you can open and close basically 60 seconds. For someone that just wanted to do weekend warriors, go out to the beach, going out quick camping, all you need just basically is to open the tent and you're ready to go. And of course, if you're going to winter camping, snowing, you know it's going to be raining, then the pole would be added on to give extra strength.
And the mosquito netting, is it just on the one side there?
No, the mosquito netting basically goes all around. It's also good added on protection if you have little children up there that go out with you. It's just a little peace of mind, right?
Sure, a little safety feature.
Correct.
And the ladders, I know we have one on this side. Can you access the tent from the other sides as well?
Yes, correct. This telescopic ladder goes on all 3 sides. Basically what you see here, the attachment, it's versatile that you can go and park and camp anywhere as long as you find a place, and you can go from the back or from either sides to get in to the tent.
I also opened the tailgate earlier to see if it would clear the tent, had full access to that, so that was terrific. And I also love it because it's going to fit in my garage, so those two things make it great. The Global Media also thought it was great at SEMA this year. They gave it the Global Media Award for the best new product. You're going to love it. It's at inspiredoverland.com. More Motorhead Garage presented by DragonfireTools.com. When we come back, campers.
Motorhead Garage, presented by Dragonfire Tools, is brought to you by RockAuto.com. All the parts your car will ever need. And by AP Laser, leading the way.
Hey there, this is Motorhead Garage, and when we last visited you, we extolled the virtues of dry ice blasting and how it can tackle all kinds of media, all kinds of gunk, get it off of there and still protect the surface you're working on. And you, Jared, you benefit from dry ice blasting every day. How do you use it in your business?
Yeah, so we're predominantly automotive based, and we use dry ice blasting equipment to clean myriad of different vehicles, mainly a lot in the Porsche community.
Let's talk about that in particular. Why do the Porsche owners trust you to do dry ice blasting on their vehicles?
Well, the Porsche is an interesting vehicle, so it kind of is able to cross all chasms as far as a collectability and a fanboy response. Everyone loves a Porsche, right? If you've ever driven one, you kind of get that pretty easily. But from the factory, they came in a cosmoline coating, and over time, cosmoline starts to discolor, and it can pick up a lot of dirt and a lot of grime. So when you put a car up in the air and you start cleaning it with dry ice, the results that it yields are just unequivocally awesome. I mean, they're quite impacting.
How does dry ice blasting compare with maybe using some other kind of media? I know there's like walnut shells and all kinds of different things out there.
So what you find in a lot of other medias is they can be very harsh to a surface, right? So you could get sandblasting. Sandblasting has a pretty big heat transfer, so you could warp metal pretty easily, and you could pit it. So dry ice is pretty soft, unlike some of the other mediums, like a walnut shell is pretty hard. So when you take dry ice and you're hitting a surface, it's not going to damage the surface. So we can go over paint, we can go over rubber, we can go over a various amount of materials, wire loom, without actually hurting or degrading that surface, unlike some other medias.
How easy is it to switch from surface to surface with a machine from Cold Jet?
Relatively easy, assuming that you have enough experience. So that's really where, if you're seeking a dry ice blasting service provider, you just want to make sure they have enough trigger time so they understand, one, the technology, two, what their standard rates need to be as far as their air pressure and their flow rates and their particle size. And after you get that nailed down, it's actually pretty easy to jump back and forth between surfaces. However, we do prefer to clean one surface, then make some changes, and then go back to the other surface. That way we can focus on one area before moving to the next surface.
What do folks say when they initially see you roll up and you say you're going to do some dry ice blasting with your Cold Jet machine? Once you start to do it, how does their reaction change?
It seems like it's harder to explain, and then you show people and their eyes just get really big and they're like, that's the coolest thing I've ever seen. And honestly, I mean, I've been running the technology for quite a term now, and I still find that same enjoyment behind it, because you get a surface that's heavily contaminated and then you clean it and you're able to see what's underneath. It's that initial shock, that initial emotional investment that it pulls out of people that I think really is kind of intoxicating about dry ice, and people are very receptive to it.
We touched on the versatility. What makes the Cold Jet machine so simple to use?
This machine, unlike many other commercial or industrial types of machines, so I think it's important to understand that dry ice blasting as a service has been around for quite some time in the industrial space, and this machine in particular is called the PCS60 by Cold Jet, and it allows us to control particle size, it allows us to control our flow rate, and allows us to control our air pressure. Those three settings in combination with some different types of tips allow us to have virtually limitless types of functionality when we're cleaning a surface. So maybe we're cleaning a really hard surface, like I believe these are control arms from a GM later model, to cleaning some plastic pieces or some anodized pieces on that G-body Porsche behind us.
And you can see from this spindle here that we did half of it, and it really took about 5 minutes, and I didn't do the most thorough job, but you can see how dramatic that is compared to the other side of the spindle.
And the other option in cleaning that is, what would you do before? Maybe some degreaser and a brush and water.
Gasoline, God forbid.
Right, you would have a mess everywhere, and we haven't cleaned this surface after we blasted on that.
And I know the sort of the holy grail of maybe preparing your Porsche for sale or something like that, or the ultimate maintenance thing would be steam cleaning. That's what people would always do when I was growing up.
Yep.
Steam clean the engine. Why is dry ice blasting better than that?
The main reason I enjoy it more is we don't have any secondary waste. And what I mean by that is we don't have any water that we're spraying over electrical components laying on the ground. Once you're done blasting, you're just sweeping up whatever's come off of the vehicle. So if we were to go and have this car up in the air and be blasting on it, we can go over electrical components. That car can be lowered onto the ground and it can be driven right out without having to wait for anything to dry out or compromise any of the electrical components. And it doesn't have to dry back out. Once you remove the material from the surface, it's ready to go.
If folks want to bring their vehicle to you for service with a dry ice blaster, where can they find you online?
So they can find us at Merritt Motors Co., MERRITT, motorsco.com. And you'll find us on all the social media channels. We're on Instagram, TikTok. We do a lot of YouTube shorts, just very short videos for people to see what dry ice cleaning, what we have in the shop, and let them make the determination if it's for them.
And there is more Motorhead Garage presented by DragonfireTools.com right around the corner. We hope you stay tuned for that. A special thanks to the folks at Dragonfire Tools for stepping it up. We are now Motorhead Garage presented by DragonfireTools.com. Rolling along here at Motorhead Garage, I want to talk about lights. Lights on your car can really set it apart, and it's important for safety too, right, Brandon?
That's right. At Sparksmith, we help people see and be seen in whatever capacity that might be. So if you just want to do something simple like upgrading, say, your interior lights, you've got this called a festoon bulb. Those come in a variety of different sizes. Just got to measure them out and see what fits.
So that might be a light you already have in your dome light or something.
Correct, yeah. We've also got them in a couple of different colors. If you've got, like, a lot of people call them the peanut T10 bulbs. If you want to move outside the car and do something like your front parking lights, front turn signals, rear turn signals, that kind of stuff, we've got replacement bulbs for all of those as well, for old and new cars. Doesn't have to be a brand new car. We've got stuff for older generations as well.
How do the LED bulbs compare with the old incandescent bulbs we're used to?
One really great thing about the LEDs, especially if you're working with an older car, like you're restoring an old muscle car or something, the LEDs don't draw nearly as much current. They're much more accepting of, say, corrosion or something like that in an older housing. It takes a lot less to power them, so they work a lot better.
And they also look great?
Yeah, they modernize the ride every time. Even something as simple as like the license plate lights, for some reason, the back end of the car, as soon as you see that modern white light, it's like a brand new car.
And another way to modernize is with the 7-inch lights here.
Yeah, so those are, what you're looking at is a 7-inch round headlight housing, and around the outside is our external 7-inch halo. And those will work with anything that takes that standard 7-inch round headlight. And there's a ton of cars out there. It's really popular with the Jeep people.
Old Mustangs, this is from an old Mustang?
Yep.
And then how do they mount there?
So they'll mount up just like a factory headlight. Like the headlight fits in the standard headlight bucket. The external halos, I love these because you don't even have to remove the headlight. You just take the screws off that hold the retaining bezel on and place this on there and run the screws back down, and you're in business.
Ready to go.
Yeah, the kit comes with wires that go straight to the battery. It's got its own on-off switch, and then you're on the road.
You got your headlights, then when you get to the parking lot, hanging out with your friends.
Yep, once you get off-road, you can come in and choose, whatever kind of animation. So if you're like in a parade, it really is an endless amount of color options that you can choose and design your own animations to do whatever it is you want them to do.
And you can even get it to change with the music, which I love, or with speed if you're off-road too.
Correct.
Very cool. And something that really caught my eye on the truck behind us here are those grill bars that you have.
Well, we've got specific models for the 03 to 07 Cat-Eye trucks. Pretty much any of the 88 to 07 GM truck platforms, we've got something specific for those. If that's not your ride, we've got universal bars in 5 different sizes. You can put them on virtually anything.
And they can screw on at the ends, or you can just use an adhesive, which is
Correct. They've
great.
got a self-adhesive backing to them. So they've been really popular, especially with some of the truck guys. And what people like about them is when you first turn them on, they do this startup animation.
Super cool.
And they also have a built-in turn signal function. So you're getting that added safety, extra visibility. You're also getting a very unique look on your ride with that animation startup. They've been a great bar, but we have a new version of it coming out, working very closely with a well-known manufacturer, and we've made some 3D prototypes here that we printed in-house just to kind of showcase the design and see how the form and function is going to be compared to the existing design. They're going to have some of the same functions, have a few additional features to them. They're going to be much more robust, and we're really excited to get these things out to the community. You'll
also be coming out with a smoked version of those. And in addition, you have bars and you have the rings that you can use in the interior of the car or anywhere you want on the vehicle.
Correct, yeah, so we've got the flexible strips, which are in fact waterproof, so you can put them inside, outside the car, in the interior. We've got the halos, which would have to be in a weather-tight housing, but they also do the same animation stuff that the 7-inch round do. So if you don't have a 7-inch round housing, but you want that colorful animation, you can get it for pretty much any application.
Sparksmith.com is always pushing the envelope of technology. They've got something for your vehicle. Go check them out online. And you can check out more Motorhead Garage presented by DragonfireTools.com when we come back. Don't go anywhere.
Motorhead Garage, presented by Dragonfire Tools, is brought to you by Surge Industrial, water-based cleaning products, and by Custom Auto Sound, the originator of classic car OEM fit radios since 1977.
Welcome back to Motorhead Garage, presented by DragonfireTools.com. When it comes to riding a motorcycle, of course, safety is the most important thing. And I know that the word revolutionary is overused, but in this case, I'm going to tell you, this is revolutionary here. It's called Brake Free. Alex, what is Brake Free and how does it make motorcycle riding safer?
Brake Free is a motorcycle helmet accessory. It attaches to pretty much any type of motorcycle helmet. And what it does is it drastically improves your visibility by adding a light that's up high in eye level for drivers following you, and it works as a smart brake light that doesn't require any connection to the motorcycle, no apps to install. It just works based on sensors. Anytime you slow down, it activates. It works off of sensors that are built into the unit, an accelerometer and gyrometer that are detecting the braking and ignoring head movements and only going off as you're slowing down.
Okay, so it doesn't connect to the bike. What's installation like on any one of these helmets?
It's as simple as attaching a sticker onto a helmet. So if we remove the unit, you can see that this is our universal helmet mount that comes included in the package. All it is a 3M adhesive mount that attaches to pretty much any motorcycle helmet, matte or gloss. Peel it off, stick it on, let it cure for about 20 minutes, and that's about it. Clicks right in, and it's secure on there. It's not going to come off.
And if you have different riders in your family, you don't need to buy a new brake-free device. You just buy some other mounts and you're ready to go, right?
That's exactly right. Transferring the unit over is really simple. You just attach it to all the helmets that you're going to be using it with and then just transfer it over.
I know universal is a word that scares a lot of people sometimes. It doesn't always work in all cases. And you guys, you've taken care of that. Now, there's some helmets that are larger than others.
Yep.
So you have different mounts to take care of that.
That's right. We just launched 2 new mounts. One is the XL mount, which is meant for XL and larger helmets, or helmets that have a flatter circumference. And then we have one specifically for the Shoei RF 1400, which is this guy right here. It's just a thicker mount, as if you could see. It's a little bit thicker, and it matches the curve of the helmet better. The universal mount will work for a vast majority of helmets out there, though.
What's some of the reaction you get from folks that see this for the first time?
Well, it's a similar question to what you've asked, is like, how does it work? What do you have to wire it into? Is it Bluetooth? Is there an app or something? And so that's always exciting to explain that, no, it's completely wireless. You don't need to install anything. You just attach it to the helmet and that's it. You can go ride right away.
Of course, it gives off that bright light when you slow down or you hit the brakes.
That's right.
What about just when you're running down the road?
Well, it's got the running light mode, and you can switch between 3 different modes by simply clicking the power button on the unit. And it will cycle through standard, stealth mode, and the pulsing light mode. The pulsing one is meant for if you maybe broke down on the side of the road, you could use it as a road flare, or potentially you might want just something pulsing to attract more attention as you're riding down the road. The stealth mode is a more dramatic mode where it's only the top and bottom lights that are on, and if you slow down, everything lights up, so it's a larger surface area that lights up. And on the standard mode is all 4 lights are lit up at about 20% brightness the whole time.
As I said, this device is revolutionary. You are going to want it if you ride a motorcycle. It's a smarter way to be seen. It's called Brake Free. You can find it at brakefreetech.com. Man, times have changed when it comes to pickup trucks. A couple $1,000s for that one back in 1966. But if you wanted a new Ford today, about 45 grand, and that is a bargain. But how many times do you see a great vehicle like this and people skimp on the floor mats, Louise? But you guys at UACE have changed the game over the last decade. How are 3D floor mats from UACE better than the other aftermarket floor mats we see?
When you look at floor mats, that's one thing that people want, is something that give you good protection, a nice sleek look and everything from right there, and also something that'll hold up from rain, dirt, mud, snow. Whatever you throw at it, you want it to make sure that it can hold up. One thing with our floor mats, if you actually take a look, we use a triple layer design when we develop our floor mats. The top layer is a thermoplastic rubber with the top, if you actually feel it from right here, it gives you a nice durable material. Whatever you throw at it, dirt, mud, sand, snow, it'll hold up. The second layer is a XPE foam that makes it so that it holds its shape, and that's why we scan our vehicles.
And they fit perfectly. You look at the floor mats here in the front of the F-150, and it looks like they came with the vehicle. It looks like OEM stuff.
Yes. The one thing that does separate us a lot from the other competitors is our Max Spider backing. With our Max Spider backing, these are developed for our carpeted materials, but you can still use it on our vinyl materials. So like, take for instance, if you have a work truck and just have vinyl materials, it's still molded and shaped to the actual floor of the vehicle.
So in the case of the vinyl, the shape is going to hold it in place. When you have a carpeted floor, the Max Spider is going to hold it. And instead of the nubs you see on the rubber ones you can buy in a lot of places, and it makes the marks on your floor there, that Max Spider actually helps it grip.
It helps it grip, exactly.
How many makes and models do you cover at UACE?
Everything from Acura, Tesla, Honda, Ford, everything from, you know, like to the now, and we're going back also and expanding our databases as well.
What if you don't have the mat specifically for my car?
We do have a trim to fit floor mat. If it's a small vehicle, large vehicle, cut to trim to make it fit to your vehicle.
Believe me when I tell you, these are the best looking aftermarket mats I have ever seen. You can find them at u-ace.com. That is going to do it for this episode of Motorhead Garage, and we hope you enjoyed the ride. We'll do it again next week if you promise to come along. From our entire crew here at Motorhead Garage, we'll see you next time. Drive safely.